We've been talking about the country of Georgia for years. A lot of you have gone and checked it out because you heard about it first here, whether it was to open a bank account, buy a property, or just enjoy the great quality of life. And today, I'm going to share with you my 5 favorite things about living in the capital city of Tbilisi. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson, the author of this book available on Amazon and the founder of Nomad Capitalist, where we help 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs and investors legally go where you're treated best. More at nomadcapitalist.com. Now, Tbilisi, Georgia may not be the kind of city that you would think a 7- or 8-figure entrepreneur wants to live in. It is not New York. It is not Hong Kong. It is not the Cayman Islands. It does not have that level of sophistication or substantiality. But it is a place where, for many years, I felt very much at home. I have spent varying levels of time there over the years. It is not a place where I would want to live full-time, but I really enjoy it. I'm going to share with you a few reasons why. The first being that it's really in a world where sometimes being an outsider, being an expat, being a nomad can be difficult. It's a very easy place to make friends. And not only friends, but loyal friends. You know, I came from the United States, and I lived in some parts of the United States, like California, where it can seem like your friends aren't always your friends. In Georgia, very easy to make loyal friends. In fact, I told a story at Nomad Capitalist Live about we have several people there kind of doing some marketing back office work. We hired one, and I just figured, hey, we'll have this one person. I had met them somewhere, and they seemed good. And then they said, oh, I've got a friend who's looking for a job. And then another friend, another friend. And I remember asking, like, oh, how do you know this person? They're like, oh, you know, we're friends. Well, how long have you known them? Oh, we met 2 months ago. It's a very common story for Georgia. And I can tell you, I've been in a couple sticky situations. You know, I remember once I was at an embassy, and I needed 2 witnesses. I didn't realize I needed 2 witnesses. And I had, 2 friends who were willing to come up and help me at a moment's notice. Or, I had an issue where, I got in a little accident, and I called someone, and hey, I got in an accident, and they came right away, and just really sincere people. It's very easy to meet friends. People are going to want to ask you out. They're going to want to go and spend time with you, and very just hospitable people. So it's very nice to have that ability to make friends. And even when I'm not in Georgia, I continue to talk to people. We have conversations, just really nice, warm people. The second thing, which is not what I'm always looking for, but I appreciate it about Tbilisi, is a great laid-back life. And I think that goes hand in hand with the friends because, it's really nice just to go out on a Thursday afternoon, and you can go out even with like a lawyer, even with a builder, even with an accountant in some cases. I mean, even people who are successful, hardworking people. Hey, let's go out for a late lunch, and you'll end up spending 2 or 3 hours together. There's not really a rush. Certainly, if you're looking to get things done very quickly, you can live in Georgia and work with the rest of the world. You're probably not going to move, all of Georgia at a rapid clip, but it's nice in the midst of, let's say, you're running a very go business, being surrounded by people who are willing to put in time with you. They're not like, hey, I got 30 minutes and I got to run. It's very nice. It's laid back. You can go out. You can have a glass of wine. You can have a nice meal. You can just sit and talk with people over tea. It's very nice. Number 3, if you've been to Georgia, you know this, incredible food. And that is valuable. If you traveled around a lot of places, you will start to realize that you'll go to some cultures where the food just isn't that appealing. And so a lot of places these days are international, and you can order the Italian food. I mean, some of the people who think they don't have great cuisine are like the Russians and the Ukrainians. You go to Kiev in Ukraine, for example, you'll see a lot of Georgian restaurants because that's what they like. Right? The Ukrainian cuisine isn't as popular, so you'll see Georgian, and you'll see Uzbek, and then of course you'll see some of the more international cuisines. So there is international cuisine, but it's nice to have something that's readily available. It's affordable. I don't care how much money. It's nice to be able to choose. Do I want to have a really nice fancy dinner at a great restaurant that probably should have a Michelin star, or do I just want to go out and have something in kind of a rustic, wood-paneled cafe with some friends, and it's just $3? And so the food there, I mean, you've got amazing meats. And by the way, not only good food, not only tasty food, but healthy food. There's a restaurant that I go to. They've got this great, I don't eat very much steak, but you get this beautiful filet from not sourced not far outside of Tbilisi. It's not something that's shipped in from halfway around the world. It's sourced nearby. It's like $9. I mean, maybe even less now. $9, you get some nice side dishes. This is a nice restaurant, and it's a beautiful filet. And you've got, it'll be accompanied with, things that are local. Now, if you go to the grocery store, they have the Bulgarian peppers, and they have, the tomatoes from Turkey and what have you. But you've got a lot of local food. You've got a high quality local food, and you've got this charming thing where you can just go in the street and you just buy stuff people brought in from their farms. It's kind of a farmer's market in different places. You've got bread shops, just wherever. Walking to the street, 25 cents, you get a huge thing of bread. And you've got just great food. You can go and, I host Georgian supers when I'm there. We'll bring, 10, 20 people. It's kind of a small Georgian super, these big, long, dinner parties, basically. And you'll have just incredible meats, and again, everything's fresh, and vegetables, and chicken salads, and kebabs, and just the khachapuri, these kind of, bread boat or almost pizza-like dishes. You'll have, kinkali, the dumplings. I mean, so many just delicious things. It's nice to have delicious, and it's nice to have people to share that with. You go out and there's just a culture of the Georgian super, the table. You give toasts, you have wine, you just enjoy a great night. And for someone who's used to going pretty quickly, it's nice to have that delicious food. And I would add wine, by the way. I think some of the best wines in the world. I will take many Georgian wines over French wines, over California wines. So that's a great thing to have access to. And by the way, one thing I always look at is, what's the worst case scenario in life? Let's say something happens to your business. Let's say something happens to your wealth. You could go and live in Georgia. You could have a pretty nice life if you owned your own home for $1,000 a month. Yeah, it's creeping up a little bit. That's not for a family of 6, perhaps, but if you're single or maybe you're a couple, low $1,000 range, and you're eating great food, you're going out to a bar every once in a while. It's really becoming a very trendy city with great food and wine. What I also love is convenience, and so this is an issue that does come up. Certainly many Western countries have convenience, although I'm hearing about how Western countries are becoming less and less convenient in things like dealing with banks and what have you. You go to Georgia, everything is pretty much online. You will find what I believe is the most efficient government building in the world, where you can go and do pretty much everything under one roof. You can do it quickly. Sometimes there's a wait. Sometimes you'll go and get a queue number, and before you even get to the appropriate part of the building, they'll have already called your number. So you can get anything you need done. You want to get an ID card, you want to get a passport, it can be done in like hours. You want to pay your bills. I haven't spent really much of any time since the pandemic started in Tbilisi, and I don't even think about our home in Tbilisi. The bills get paid. You set it up to your bank account. It's relatively straightforward to get a bank account. Not quite as easy as it once was, but anyone can get a bank account. You set that up. You input your bill numbers, and everything just comes out. You don't have to worry too much about it. You compare that to some other countries of equal size, equal levels of development. It's a great accomplishment, and it's one of the things that the former president Mikhail Saakashvili, he spoke at Nomad Capitalist Live. He talked about, how do you make things easy? There was an attitude that was brought into the country where it's like you can't have, you can't make it to where it takes a guy 9 months to open a bar like it does in New York City. It has to be easy. How do you do it quickly? You get a bank account, you log on, you enter your electricity number, you never think about it ever again. And I think it's a great thing. Even for people who don't even have bank accounts, there are little pay boxes all over the place. And you compare that to other places that are similar to Georgia, it's simply not as easy. They throw up bureaucracy. You don't really have that much bureaucracy there. No place is perfect, but it's really easy, honestly, to navigate. And the fifth thing is I love the access to nature. Georgia, Tbilisi, not the most accessible places in the world. It is improving. You now have flights coming in from places like Paris. You have nonstop flights to Qatar. You have, if you can deal with the insufferable fly Dubai, you have flights to Dubai. You've got flights to other places, including, I think, still they've got nonstops to China, and it's really growing. Largely connected with the Middle East, but increasingly to Europe. Georgian Airways has been increasing. Anyway, all that said, Istanbul, of course, is the biggest hub. All that said, Georgia, not the most accessible place. Finally, you don't have to take every flight at 3 in the morning, which was really dreadful. Now it's getting better. However, what I love is that you can get out into nature and that you've got accessibility to lots of different things. So if you want to go skiing, you can go west or you can go north, a couple hours. You want to go and sit in hot springs. You can go and do that in a couple hours. You want to go to the beach. No, admittedly, not the best beach. You can go to Batumi or areas around there. You can take a train. It's actually a very nice train, probably nicer than what you'd expect. You want to go to wine country. You go to Signahi, what they call the Verona of Georgia, and the surrounding areas. That's about an hour and a half away. They're starting to open up more really nice hotels all around the country. And you can go into these hotels. You can go into vacation rentals, or you can just go for the day, and you can experience really whatever kind of nature you want. And I've done that many times, and I can tell you, as someone who is the go person, it's very calming just to go out and sit on a beautiful hill with a beautiful vista. Even half an hour outside of the city, you can just take a taxi up there and do that. Or you can spend a weekend up in Kazbegi, or they're built all kinds of places in the country. It's becoming too many to mention. And you can just enjoy nature. You can look at it, the beautiful mountain peaks. You can look at it, streams and rivers. One thing I like about Georgia, by the way, that I think people should consider when you're looking at a place is they have something like 3,000 rivers. Obviously not huge rivers, but they have many different sources of water, clean water. So that with clean food, that kind of thing, that's very important, I think, especially if you're coming from the West, which that's increasingly difficult. But water security, it's very important. That's going to be something that not everywhere in the world has. And so I think it's a great place to have some kind of base. But really nice people, beautiful country, lots to do. I mean, you look at like the United States, or even a state like California. People say, oh, you can do it all. You can ski, you can go to the mountains all in one day. Georgia is very much the same way. Tbilisi is a great jumping off point for all that. It's affordable, it has character, warm people, and I think definitely a great place to go. Is it the be-all, end-all where you're going to spend the rest of your life? I don't know, maybe not. But definitely a good place to have in the mix, and those are 5 reasons I love it. Now, if you've been there, leave a comment below. I want to hear what you like about Tbilisi yourself. So people ask, Andrew, how do I get the most out of Nomad Capitalist? How do I begin my Nomad Capitalist journey? The first thing people do is they start right where you're at. They watch YouTube, they listen to podcasts, they read articles at nomadcapitalist.com. We've spent years creating thousands of pieces of free content so that you can get the vibe from someone who's actually done this, from someone who's actually been in your shoes. What they'll do next, they'll get a copy of the book. You can find it on Amazon. It costs a few bucks, and while it's not going to give you all the secrets, it's going to, again, give you more of the vibe. You're going to learn a lot of the things that I've learned. You're going to learn some strategies you can employ, and you're going to get a lot further in your journey. From there, if you are the 7 or 8 figure entrepreneur investor, you can go to nomadcapitalist.com. You can click Become a Client. We're pretty busy these days, but we have availability to help a limited number of people who want to create a holistic plan, something that I think is so important. So if you want to do that, go to nomadcapitalist.com, click Become a Client, learn more about how it works and how we can help you.